Hey gang, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are going to take even a deeper look at the solid state logic SSL Bus Plus, which you can see on the screen, hopefully at this point, right below me. Last video, this is video number 2. First video, we went through a very basic setup and kind of used it and set it up in a way that we would set up the console compressor that I have here, my SSL Origin, or if you had the 500 series rack of the SSL G series bus compressor, we kind of used it in that fashion with a couple of the additional extra features that are in the Bus Plus that you can't get anywhere else. So if you didn't see that video, that was video 1. Check it out. Link will be in the description box below. And as I said in that video, this is probably going to be a 3 or 4 part video series to kind of go through everything that this thing can do. And I don't even know if we're going to get through all the features, which we'll talk about in a second. But in this video, what I want to do today for part 2 is I want to kind of pick up exactly where we left off in part 1 with the same music, same settings on the compressor, and then just kind of build upon what we did in the last video. So today we're going to talk about a couple of the extra features, some of the push-pull knobs or push-push knobs on the SSL Bus plus talk about the dynamic EQ section. That's what we're going to do in this video. In future videos, we'll take a look at some other different modes. We'll also take a look at the transient designer and how you unlock the transient designer feature, which is kind of weird and unique. We're going to check that out. And then whatever comments you leave below on what else you like to see the Bus Plus on, we're going to do that as well. Oh, and we'll probably use it in a more parallel compression style of mode where we crush drums or something like that, just to get it out of the kind of master bus settings, which is what we're doing here. So make sure you like, share, subscribe, and let me know in the comments below a couple of things. One, what other things or different ways do you want me to use the Bus Plus in a video for you to demonstrate? Leave those comments below, because like I said, this thing does so much, it's crazy, that I don't know that I'm going to get through all the features, and I'm sure there's going to be things that your guys are going to want to see that I'm not even going to realize until you tell me about it. So let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you have the Bus Plus and how do you use it? And why do you like it? Tell me some of that. I really like to know. Okay, so last video, you can go back and watch that. This time we're going to pick up right where we left off. And as I said the last time, we are using it in classic stereo mode for this video, okay? Which means only the left side of the compressor is activated. All the controls on the left side control the stereo image, except for one knob, which we'll talk about when we get to the dynamic EQ section. I have my notes here of what I want to explain some of these multifunction buttons. So I'm going to read off my notes. I apologize if I don't have all this stuff memorized. And by the way, here's one recommendation this is one piece of gear that if you're going to buy this piece of gear, you really need to read the manual. You do. I've gone as far as to print out the 40-page manual here, and I'm going to keep. And what I will say is that Solid State Logic did a wonderful job laying out this manual. They really did a great job with nice close-up pictures and text around the photos explaining in detail exactly what every feature and function does. If you're going to own this unit and you even want to get a fraction out of this unit of what it's capable of, you really need to read this. Watching YouTube videos is one thing. Getting the manual and playing with it for yourself is something different. So I highly recommend you do that. If you don't do that, then don't blame me if you don't know how to use this thing in the most effective way. Okay, so let's take a look at some of the other features right where we kind of left off. So the first thing I'm going to do, and again, I'm sorry if I'm reading from my notes and if I'm not looking directly at you the whole time, but I want to try to walk you through this slowly and methodically. So the first thing I want to talk about is the makeup gain knob, which is right here. So the makeup gain knob, as you turn it, and everything is all stepped here, by the way, for easy recall. It's all detented. All these knobs are detented, which is great. Now the makeup gain, every time I turn this, it's in 1 dB increments. However, if I press and hold the button here, it's going to go into what we'll call fine mode. And you'll see the little LED above it, fine, light up green. Hopefully it'll look good on the camera. It's hard to tell with this lighting. And now this turns the makeup gain into half dB increments. So you can go from 1 dB, or if you hold it down until the fine mode lights up, that's going to give you half dB increments. Okay, if I hold it, again, hold it for a second, it turns it off. If I do a short press, this is going to move the compressor after the dynamic EQ section. And you'll see that button lights up. So that removes the compressor from before the dynamic EQ to after the dynamic EQ. Before, after, or both. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. I'm sorry. You move the compressor after the dynamic EQ. So that'll put the compressor before the dynamic EQ, after the dynamic EQ. Right, post DEQ. Okay, so that's the makeup gain multifunction button. Okay, that's not all. We have other buttons that are multifunction as well. If we move over here to the sidechain button, the sidechain button, as I press this, will cycle through putting the sidechain either before the dynamic EQ, before the compressor, or both. Before the compressor, you'll see it indicated by the light. Before the dynamic EQ, or when both lights light up, both. Hit it again, it'll reset itself. So that's those two multifunction buttons, okay? Just so you know. And if you missed the last time before where we are, I'll give you a little sound example before we jump into the dynamic EQ. Basically, we got this thing set up to hit about 4 dB of compression. We're using the 4K mode, we're using the low THD, and we're using the feedback mode. If you want to know what all those modes are, you can either read the manual or you can go watch the first video where I walk through that specifically and you listen to before and after. But here's basically where we left off, and we'll take the compressor in and out just by pressing the channel 1 button, and that'll take the compressor in and out. Here we go. We're using the same music. We're using this kind of funky dance track, which has some nice low end in it. Here it is. With it, I'll take it away, and then I'll put it back in, and then we'll move on to the dynamic EQ. So what I really like about this, compared to the one in my console, is with the addition of the 4K mode and the low THD, I just love the saturation, the thickness that it gives this particular track. This is something that you couldn't get in just the console mode and the compressor in the console. Okay, so now let's move on to the dynamic EQ section. You know, I get a whole page of notes on this thing. It's crazy, but it's cool. It's really cool. It's really cool. Okay, so the dynamic EQ, we have the low frequency and the high frequency, okay? You turn on each one of those frequencies by pressing the button. And you'll see the buttons on the side here will light up. So this is off. Low frequency on, high frequency on. Now, from the factory, the low frequency is set to a shelf at 60 Hertz. The high frequency is set to a shelf at 6K. Can you adjust that, Dave? Yes, you can. Maybe we'll do that in another video. I'll show you quickly at the end of how you do it, but you can adjust that as well. But that's where the factory setting is, okay? So that's how you turn those on. Now, if you turn these knobs clockwise, it's going to be more towards expansion. You'll see down here in the print, as you turn it clockwise, it'll go more into expansion mode. Counterclockwise is going to be more of compression mode. Okay, that's how that works. The LED, you'll see when we play back music, you'll see little LEDs near each one of the low and high frequencies to signify how much signal we're pushing in, and it turns colors. Let me just demonstrate that for a quick second. So you may not be able to tell with this camera. I'm not really sure until I get the video in post, but it goes from green to amber to red, just like the 4K mode does. It may not show up that well on camera, but that's what it does. The more signal you press in, the LED indicates how much signal is being pressed. And if you start to push too much signal, you'll see that the channel 1 and channel 2 button up top here will light up red. That means you're overloading the circuit, just so you know. So you can hear the low and the high frequency effect. That's what it does. Okay, so as we turn that up counterclockwise, we're going more to expansion mode. Now, next to that, we have the low frequency gain here. This is a makeup gain, if you will, for the low frequency, right? So when you're doing expansion or compression, if you're doing compression, specifically, you can use the low frequency gain as kind of a makeup gain. Want to think of it that way. When we are in stereo mode only, you'll see over here on the right side, maybe you'll see this LED where my finger is, it looks like it's amber, but it's actually red. This is for the high frequency gain. It's the only knob on the right side of the compressor that's activated when we are in classic stereo mode, which is really the left side of the compressor, right? So this controls the high frequency makeup gain. This controls the low frequency makeup gain. So let's go ahead and demonstrate. I'll start with expansion, then I'll turn the compressor on and off. Then I'll back it off and do more towards compression mode and turn it on and off in a couple of different stages, just so you could hear what it does. I'll exaggerate it so you kind of get the vibe of what's going on. Here we go. So you can see in here that when you go into expansion mode, you're going to back off some of the makeup gain because it's going to get louder if you want to level match it a little more. And if you're going into the compression mode on those dynamic EQ knobs, you may want to increase the makeup gain on these low and high frequency gain knobs to make up for any volume drop. So again, lots of tonal variations depending on the program material. That's a basic gist on how those things are used. Now let's talk about the buttons that are next to it. Okay, so we're going to leave it in expansion mode for now. Okay, so high frequency button up here, it's a high frequency, it's set at a shelf from the factory. As I said, it's a default, it's a shelf at 6K. This makes it a bell. Okay, just by hitting that button. When we hit the high frequency fast button, that's going to change the attack from a 1 millisecond attack when it's engaged. When you hit high frequency fast, this engages it to a 1 millisecond attack and a 50 millisecond release. Not engaged, it's a 3 millisecond attack. Okay, the low frequency, when engaged, it's a 10 millisecond attack and a 50 millisecond release. When not engaged, it's a 30 millisecond attack and a 100 millisecond release. And if you hold those buttons, it will turn to an auto release. And I'm not going to cycle through all the sound settings for that. That's something for you to do. But once again, just to kind of impress on you that the versatility in this thing is insane what you can do. You can sit here all day and tweak it to death if that's what you want to do. So what we'll do is maybe we'll just go from, we'll put the high frequency at a bell. We'll hit we'll change the attack time here so you can just hear what that does. Here we go. Okay, so there's the different variations and the dynamic EQ and the different buttons that go along with it. And again, we're only using the left side because we're in classic stereo mode. If we were in dual mono mode or we were in mid-side mode, we would have both sets of controls that would work. And we'll do that maybe again in a future video if we get enough comments saying that you want to see that. Now, last thing I want to show you here, we talked about the frequency points, right? We talked about that we have a shelf at 60 and a shelf at 6K. You can turn the 6K to a bell if you want, blah, blah, blah. But what happens if you don't like that frequency point for some reason and you want to try something a little different? Well, according to the manual, you can do that. So what we can do is we can press and hold the low frequency knob to change the frequency point via the left flashing VU meter. Really? Let's try that. Whoops, I'm hitting the camera, sorry. So now you see if we hold that down, we have a flashing LED and we can use the high frequency fast and low frequency fast buttons to change. You'll see the needle on the meter. Sorry if it's shaking a little. We'll change the frequency. You say, well, what frequency is it at? This is why you got to print the manual, because the manual has a beautiful chart laid out that shows you exactly where the VU meter, where the needle is, to what frequencies you're changing them to. Exactly. So look it up in the manual and you'll be able to do that. Okay. So that's how you change that. And if you hold it, it'll go back and it'll reset itself. Now, same thing on the high frequency side. If you do the high frequency side, you hold that in, again, you use the buttons here. And you'll see the right VU meter is working, okay? Get it? So that is how a basic overview of how you use the dynamic EQ with the different buttons that go along with it and some of the different features with the makeup gain and with the sidechain filter. Again, super, super, super versatile. Again, the best thing you can do, I'll tell you, it's killer. The thing sounds amazing. It really, truly does. The best thing to do is get this thing in your studio, get out the manual and figure out some of the things that you want to use. And you probably won't use all the features that are in it. I know I won't. I'll use about half of what this thing can really do because I'm really going to use it on the master bus primarily. But however, in the next video, we will use it as on like a parallel compression kind of a vibe where we'll use some of the negative ratios that we talked about in the first video and some of the other features that we'll go through. We'll break out the manual. Plus, I also want to show you the transient designer and how that works. And the way you unlock the transient designer feature, there's a way you can do it when you power up the unit, but they also have some kind of a game, some kind of a color code button game. It's all in the manual. It's crazy. We're going to try to play the game in the next video, see if we can unlock the transient designer, and then we're going to use it on parallel drums just to see what it kind of does. So again, thank you so much for joining me in this video. And again, thank you to Solid State Logic for sending this to me to you so I can do the review. I think I mentioned that in the first video. I really do appreciate it. It's a lot of fun. Let me know in the comments below what other things you want to see me demonstrate with the SSL Bus Plus. Again, I'm still getting my bearings on it and I record these videos in somewhat real time. As you know, I get it in here, I hook it up, I play with it a little bit, and then I jump on camera so you guys could kind of see what it's like when you first get it in your studio. I've only had it a few short weeks. I haven't gone through everything. I'm still trying to get my head wrapped around some of the features, but I will tell you, it is super cool. I like the sound of it way better than the one in my console because of what we talked about in the first video. So let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And until we look at the third installment of this SSL Bus Plus series, I've been Dave with mixingmusicanalog.com. Thank you so much for watching me, everybody, and I'll see you guys in the next video.